speaker is Mr. Ranji. He is an alumnus of Cochin University of Science and Technology from the Polymer Science Department. He has over 30 years of experience in tire industry. He started his career as a GT with Apollo Tires, and later on he joined as the head of product development with CEAT Tires and is now responsible for R&D and technology operation in India. Sir, we are honored to have you here with us. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Ashraf. And just to call back the memory, Ashraf and me, we were hostel mates in Cochin University, and we were in two different departments, but we were close friends. His roommate, Paulson, me, Ashraf, and we prepared together for the GATE exam. So it was nice to connect back to Ashraf after a long time. And also then Ashraf asked me to give this, can you talk on this one? So I have a small, presentation on mobility, how the, so I have attended some 2 or 3 other talks in the previous day. They're all talking about AI, C computer and all those things. Here we are talking about little different topic. Here we will be talking about how the mobility is changing, and what are how the tire is also going to be changed for adapting to the new the requirements. For most of the people, tire is a black round thing. Beyond that, there is not much of people don't care for that product, but it's a highly engineered product, both in terms of engineering and also from the material side. So I have I will share the presentation. I know how much of time I have until 9:30.
No, you can take some time, no problem. We started 10 minutes late, so.
Okay. Okay. So we'll go back. We'll talk about a bit about tire. Wheels were invented by Sumerians in 3500, and before that, the wheel that is known was the potter's wheel. Potter's wheel was invented somewhere around 4500 BC. 1000 years later, the potter's wheel, which was flat, somebody put it on a vertical level and started using it for moving things. So moving forward, in 1888, Dunlop invented the pneumatic tire, and some close to 1948, 1950 time, Michelin brothers, they commercialized the radial tire, and tire has undergone various revolutions. And today we are passing through, the mobility itself is changing, the way the transportation is in itself is changing. So tire is also getting changed from, in the past it was wooden wheel, then it is steel wheel, then it has become tire, and then pneumatic tire, and then finally it is going back to an airless tire. That's what it is emerging. However, one good thing is we still need tire for the mobility with the current technology. So how this mobility is changing, there are many drivers for changing. Environment and sustainability is one of the major thing. Ashraf, I think that the targeted audience is the children, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are many drivers for this change in mobility, environment and sustainability, cost, consumer behavior, smart cities. Everything is driving the change in the mobility. And the major driver is the environment and sustainability. So if you, I'm sure that you are all reading about all these things. Just now we had COP26 in Ireland. So Paris Agreement calls for reduction of global warming well below 2 degrees centigrade for the earth to be sustainable, for the life to be sustainable in this globe. So we have to achieve this by 2050. And every country is having their own plans. There is a commitment that is given in Paris. So if you see, there are many many initiatives that is coming from the government. is all getting aligned with this. Like for example, the solar panel, there is a lot of drive for the renewable energy. These are all part of this one. So coming to specifically to the automotive industry contributes to 13% of the global carbon emission. This is something, so if you want to achieve this 2-degree reduction by 2050, the auto industry have to reduce the carbon emissions below 45 gigatons. So it's a huge amount of work that we need to do. And when we say this, and the government and the policymakers, they have a plan also for that. If you look at this plan, if you look at the just a minute, let me make this. So if you look at the this one, if 100 is the, so how are you going to achieve this below 45 gigaton target? So first one is zero emission vehicles. This is for the electrical and hydrogen, all those things are coming. Then the transition technology this is the technology in between. This is basically the 1 minute. Let me make the. These are basically the hybrids. That is the hybrid. And the next thing is another 10% by travelers. What we are today doing now is basically telepresent. We are present for this. We are participating from different parts of the world. I know that last speaker I understood is joining from US. So if you look at what we are doing is the travelers. We are not traveling. We are using the technology for us to communicate and come together. And there's a lot of things that is happening in that area. And low carbon fuels and supply chain. Supply chain is going to be one major thing. So supply chain, once all these things are achieved, so we'll be able to achieve this 45, less than 45 gigaton carbon emission. So this is one, and cost is another one. Today, if you buy a car, the car is having much more, most of the time the cars are not utilized much. Especially if you go to place like Kerala, most of the houses in Kerala, the specialty of houses, most of them are aged. Our parents are there in Kerala. They used to, every house is having a car. The car is used once in a week to go to the church or to the temple or to the mosque and come back. Or once in a while we go to shopping for the shopping. Other than that, the car is not used. So utilization is very low. At the same time, we are buying, and consume less is also a part of consume less is also a part of the sustainability. So there is a drive for creating custom-made vehicles for the application, especially as going forward, as we see the shared mobility. And when all those things are coming, shared mobility, autonomous driving, all those things are coming, you don't need so much of high-tech things in the car, because the car is used for moving from one position A to position B. So even the consumer behavior is changing. This is a study by Deloitte in India in the last year. So here, if you look at, people are already ready to move to hybrid or battery, and also they are ready to pay additional amount. So willingness to pay people are also willing to pay for the additional technology. So people's behavior is also changing. And cities are becoming smart, especially in all these things we have seen. There is government has come out with a big list of smart cities across India, and those people who are from Kerala, we have been hearing smart city, Cochin smart city for a long time. So what is when you look at the smart city, what is one of the specialty? The smart cities are expected to have a intelligent transport system. In the intelligent transport system, especially in the developed world, and so everything talks to everything. So the vehicle talks to the infrastructure talks to the vehicle talks to the owner of the vehicle owner, and vehicle talks to another vehicle. So the real time, it is possible. By that, it is possible for us to have a real time traffic management. People will travel less in the smart cities, telecommuting. That is what we are doing now. And people, there will be ride sharing and person to person car. This again is basically to improve the utilization of the car. So I have a car, I go to office, the car is lying there idle, but during that time I'm able to rent that car to another person who need it. So this is the kind of this in the smart cities when it comes to at the end, in the final form. So if you look at, and this when it comes to the smart cities, the transportation is not a transportation is a multi-modal thing, depends on the application. This can be a shared vehicle, it can be train, it can be a combination of train, bus, car, scooter, and purpose-built vehicle. So it's going to be a multimodal transportation system, and it is going to be this 1 minute. And if you look here, the vehicles are going to be autonomous, the vehicles are going to be connected, vehicles real-time travel information. This is where the tire is also going to play a major role. So by this, when the transportation becomes intelligent, the traffic congestion are going to be low, the utilization of the vehicles are going to improve, and the vehicles are becoming autonomous. The vehicle decides how you need to drive. So today when we drive, the chances of the sudden braking, the chances of accident, all those things are eliminated because the vehicle will be able to take that decision even before, proactively take action to prevent that. So this all leads to more safe and also an efficient transportation. So this the graph on the top is it's a data from from US. It's a Texas transportation. Only in that state, Texas transportation, the loss due to congestion. So every year the bill comes to 78 billion. If you look at the Indian budget, and the Indian annual budget for 2021 is 260 billion. So if you compare this, 30% of that is the losses due to the congestion itself. India also, with the current infrastructure in India, India also may not be very far from this. So the other thing is the micromobility. Micromobility, the certain parts of the city, no vehicles will be allowed. But then you need to go there. For example, you take Chennai T Nagar. So people who know Chennai T Nagar. It's a business place, highly congested area. You can't take your car inside because you will not be able to find a place. But if you have a micro mobility with you, for example, a skateboard or a scooter, these are all battery operated, or a bicycle or a battery powered bicycle. So it will be easy for you. You will be able to accommodate more people and go in and out much easily. This micromobility does not doesn't mean cannot be an internal combustion engine powered. So it is not an IC engine, but either it is a manually powered or it should be a battery powered. So micromobility is going to pick up, especially in the Western world. This is already happening in many of the city centers. You cannot go; your car is not allowed. Either you need to walk or you take cycle at this moment. So if you look at the whole thing, combining all these things, the converging forces, if you look at the whole thing, maturing powertrain technology leads to battery and fuel cell electric vehicles, and material technologies are changing, lightweight material, stronger and lighter material, rapid advances in connected vehicles, the vehicle communication with infrastructure, vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to person, that so real-time data that is coming from the vehicle and the infrastructure to intelligently manage the traffic. Shift in mobility preferences. The younger generations are not, they don't want to own a car. So today, if you go to places like Bombay, many of my friends, they have sold their car. So they have whenever they want to go out, they go for an Ola or they call Uber, and then they use it. What they say, there is no headache, and the car is available anytime. So the new generation is not preferring to have their own car. And the autonomous, the emergence of autonomous car, it is no more a science fiction. These are really happening. So if you look at the whole thing, the sources of energy for the vehicle is changing, the fossil fuel to hybrid, to electric. Electric and hydrogen depends on which is going to win in the future. Involvement of human. There are 5 levels of automation. The automation that is happening in terms of our involvement in driving. Currently at level 0, that's we are doing everything. Level 1 is cruise control, then lane change warning system, and like that. At the level 5, it is completely autonomous. So you just put the destination, and then then vehicle will take you there. But in all these things, the tire also plays a key role. So when it becomes autonomous, you cannot afford to have a failure in the tire. You cannot afford to have a puncture in the tire. You need to know when what is the health of the tire, because you are going for a longer distance drive in an autonomous mode, and you do not know how to handle that situation. So everything, all these changes will have impact on the tire industry as well. And over a period, even the power is also increasing in the vehicle. So this is again another explanation. The different types of vehicle: conventional vehicles, which has the IC engine; hybrid vehicle, it has both IC engine and a battery pack; plug-in hybrid, which has a limited range from the battery. This is basically to improve the fuel efficiency, or the battery will enable help us to take care of where the higher fuel consumption is there. Then plug-in hybrid electric, and finally the complete electric vehicles, which is what, like Tata Nexon EV, things like that. The hydrogen fuel cell is another emerging one. There is a lot of work that is going on in this area. So by 2030, 45% of all, what is the prediction? Is 45% of all global new car sales will be at level 3 or above. So as I told in the previous slide, when it comes to this the vehicles becoming more autonomous, tire plays a key role. Tire becomes an integral part of the vehicle control. The sensors in the tire continuously sense the health of the tire, surrounding environment, monitors the weather, and then seamlessly interact with the vehicle can modify the vehicle parameters to ensure maximum performance and safety. For example, you are driving, all on a sudden there is a rain, and the sensor in the tire senses, okay, there is water in the contact area, and then that means I need to modify my driving behavior. Today, what we do when it rains, we normally reduce the speed. That is how we manage in the current lane. It's basically the logic of the human, but vehicle cannot take that decision. But in this system, it senses the water, and then it communicates to the canvas of the vehicle. Okay, I am seeing these things, and then there is logic, and then accordingly it changes the driving behavior of the autonomous vehicle. And see, Indian companies are also working in this set with fairly good amount of success. So if you look at the safety technologies in the car, tire is an integral part of all the active safety features of the vehicle. So now you understand what is the importance of tire in vehicle, because those 4 contact area are the only ones which decides what you can do with the vehicle. You may have a very good vehicle, but if the tires are not good, so you will not be able to get the best performance out of it. So if you look at the whole thing, the ride sharing is basically becoming, as I told, ride sharing is becoming an important, is increasing not only here, globally. This is the data what is from US from 2009 to 2017. The number of vehicles per house is coming down, because people are basically using the ride sharing platform, because owning a vehicle is expensive, and the prediction is the ride sharing is going to increase further once the robotaxis are becoming more popular. On the right side, you can see a Waymo robotaxi from Arizona. So this is already available. So Ford is having their robotaxi. So there are many companies which are bringing the robotaxis. So again, coming to the impact of tire, in this situation, you cannot have a puncture, you cannot have a failure, you cannot have a run flat situation. So the thing is, the tire needs to constantly communicate with the vehicle on the health of itself. And also it needs to, when it comes to all these things, you also need to have a autonomous parking system. There is a lot of research that is happening on in this one. On the picture on the left side is basically the research center research that is happening on autonomous vehicle in the University of Coventry, UK. And even India, we are seeing that electrification is increasing in a much rapid space. And all the companies, you take any company, Tata, Hyundai, Mahindra, they are all bringing electrical vehicles to India. When the electrical vehicles are coming to the market, the demand on the tire is also increasing, because any loss in the vehicle needs to be eliminated so that we can get the maximum range. So here tire also plays a key role in the range of the tire. So the rolling resistance of the tire needs to be low. And second thing, in the electrical vehicle, there is no noise. So most of the noise that you hear will be from the tire. So the noise from the tire needs to be low. And normally electrical vehicles are heavier. So that means the tire must be able to carry that higher load, and also it should not wear faster, because one of the requirement of sustainability is also that tire needs to last long. So there's a lot of engineering and material science challenges to achieve this. It's not only that, okay, it should look good also on the vehicle. So it's a design, it's an engineering, it's a material, it's a huge challenge to solve. But the companies are doing this. So for example, if we have seen this, autonomous driving, IoT, electrification, mobility as a service, these are the various trends that are emerging in 2021. And finally, we can say this, the emerging mobility is known as connected, autonomous, shared, and electrical. It's acronym as CASE. Or the latest thing is CASI, EC. So same thing rearranged, but where they have added one more letter, that is Y. That is yearly update or retreadable. So the tire needs to be, the tire will remain throughout the life of the vehicle. You only need an update or put a new tread on the surface, normally, which is not done in passenger tire. But in this, when it goes to a airless tire, it is possible for us to do this retreading. So, okay, so again, in little more in detail, when in the connected tire, there is an inbuilt sensor. That sensor will continuously monitor the various parameters, talks to the vehicle, talks to the cloud, talk to the owner. Sustainable, it's you need to reduce the consumption of material. It should be made of sustainable material. It should be retreadable, so that life is long, low rolling resistance, so that the energy lost for every revolution is low. Autonomous, puncture proof, because it cannot fail, and self-repairing, and the tires are becoming airless. So green, okay, this is an interesting thing for especially for the children. What is meant by sustainable? So we have two concepts. One is green, another one is sustainable. So normally people say all green material. Naturally occurring materials are all good. But if you look at the new UN, the definition of sustainability by the UN. So on the right side, if you can see, meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. This is an important definition, because your parents said our generation cannot consume the material which is reserved for you, or whatever we consume needs to be regenerated within our lifespan. So there is always continuous supply. We cannot continuously consume. If the things, natural occurring things also, after a period of time, it exhausts. But in this definition, whatever we are consuming needs to be regenerated within the lifespan. So for example, in tire industry, we use a material called silica. Silica is basically made from sand. But sand is a naturally occurring material. In the past, sand is considered as the silica is considered as a natural material. But there is a problem that whatever silica that is consumed by tire industry cannot be replenished in any period of time. So silica is no more a sustainable material. But this silica can be produced from rice husk. The silica produced from rice husk is a sustainable material because you get a crop every year. You understand that meaning? So any sustainable material needs to be regenerated, replenished within a human lifespan. So going forward, for the tire to be sustainable, you will see a lot of recycled material, devulcanized rubber, reclaimed rubber, crumb rubber. So much of new materials are going to be recovered from the used tire. So you will no more see a dump of used tire in any part of the world. It's expected by 2040, every tire, 100% of the tire will be recovered, recycled, back into another form. Mostly it will come back to the tire. So this is one of the important thing because of the sustainability initiative. A lot of research work is happening in this area. This is basically in the area of material. And the second thing is what we said, when the car becomes autonomous, you need to have a airless tire. So already many concepts of tires are in the market. Westland is evaluating the vision concept with General Motors. So there are many work that is happening. You will see already this tire is available for the slow speed application like dumpers, military application, etc. We are expecting this to happen. Will come to passenger car and truck also in another 5 to 7 years of period of time. Then the sensors inside the tire continuously monitoring the strength of this one. We are also working in this area, so this is also something which will come. So it will continuously communicate with the car as well as to the owner. So ultimately, this needs to be integrated with the vehicle's control system. So this is also happening at the moment. And another thing is self-sealing tire. So there was a study conducted by Michelin or European Union on how much of tires are getting removed because of the air loss. So if when the air is getting lost, the inflation is lost, it damages the tire structure, you will not be able to use it. So the study shows around 20% of the globally sold tire are removed before it reaches the final life. So that means it's a huge amount of tire. If we can eliminate that, this air loss can be due to damages, air loss can be due to punctures. So if you eliminate that, and if the inflation pressure is maintained, so you will use less fuel, and you will be able to consume the complete tire. So it impacts less into the to the environment. So a lot of work many companies have brought this airless tire, this self-sealing tire. You can also buy some of these tires in the market. So CEAT is also is having a product in scooter, and soon we will see that it will come in the other categories also. This is another concept from a company called Galileo. This is an airless tire. At this moment, this is available for farm tires, and this is really an interesting concept. it's working well. You can see the details from the internet because of the time this thing. So I'm just skipping this. There is a video. You can see this from the internet. So interestingly, these tires are manufactured in India. Even though this company is from Israel, the tires are manufactured in India. This is this is one of the latest one. This is a mechanical wheel. It's a completely mechanical wheel, working with the help of cylinders. So this is 100% recyclable, safety use, no overheating, no blowout, low cost of operation over its entire period of life. Currently, this is being evaluated for dumpers, heavy dumpers working in mine. It's a very challenging application for pneumatic tire. So this is where they are. This company is working. This is on the mechanical wheel. And all of the, especially the children, probably you must have seen the NASA wheels. NASA has developed the special wheels made of shape memory alloys. So this is basically used for the lunar vehicles. But now the study shows this can not study shows there are some whenever if you want a real airless tire, this is one material which can be used. But the thing is, it's quite expensive. I do not know whether we'll be able to practically have it, but this can be used just like any other pneumatic tire, because of the even if it deforms, it comes back to its original position. No. So we will not get into the this one video. We'll go to the next one. So these are all concept tires, especially when it becomes car, when the vehicle is becoming autonomous. So and the optimum usage of the space. So this is another concept. So this spherical wheel allows the vehicle to move in any direction. So even if when there is no space to park, the vehicle can move laterally into the parking area. This is another concept. But this is basically a concept. I do not know whether it is going to be